Hi, Asma. Let's see what you wrote in this new set of essays, shall we? The topic is pollution. What are the reasons and how can it be solved? Let's just get straight into it, okay? Nowadays, the issue of pollution in developing countries has become worse. This essay will discuss some of the reasons behind this and how to tackle this problem. Okay, I like your brevity. So, I mean, it was rather brief. Um, I do have a couple of things that I want to say about this. First of all, this is talking about large cities, okay? However, in your essay, you rephrased it to say developing countries. Now, this isn't quite the thing, not quite the same thing. Large cities also exist in developed countries. So you have actually gone in a different direction and you're talking just about the developing world. And so that isn't entirely accurate, okay? Remember that this is supposed to somehow mirror the prompt. And so if you develop it in such a way where you're talking about developing countries, but you're not talking about large cities in general, then this could be considered somewhat off topic or, could have some sort of effect on your task response score. So that's one thing. I thought this was fine. Okay. Like I said, you might have wanted one more sentence, maybe. I always encourage students to keep their introduction brief. Don't spend too much time on it. And I like that you did, on the other hand, spend a lot of time on your body paragraphs. That's great. You know what? Why don't we take a look at your body paragraphs and see, and then we'll come back to this if we need to. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. There is ample evidence that water and air pollution are becoming worse, comma, especially in large cities, comma, due to industrial waste, increased road transportation, and the burning of fossil fuels. This is largely because in order to produce energy for electricity, a large amount of fossil fuels are burned, and this releases greenhouse gases into the air, which then get rid of that S, this S here, which then cause climate change as well as air pollution. Increased road transportation also contributes to the emission of pollutants such as nitrogen oxides, and this leads to smog as well as poor air quality. One of the causes of water pollution is industrial waste, which is dumped into the ocean, and this contaminates the water and threatens aquatic life. For example, recent empirical research by the UK government demonstrated that 80% of pollution is caused by the burning of fossil fuels and industrial waste. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that burning fossil fuels and industrial waste are the major causes of pollution. Okay, so as you can see, I got through your paragraph pretty easily. So in terms of grammar, I didn't really have any issues. It was good. So that was good. I do want to talk about a couple of other things. Now, remember, this is supposed to be, you've got this here, especially in large cities. And I'm glad that you said it here. Okay. Now, here, in order to produce energy for electricity, don't forget to mention large cities. Okay. So here I thought you could have said something like, this is largely because in order to produce energy for the electricity that large metropolitan centers require, a large amount of fossil fuels are burned, and this releases greenhouse gases into the air, which then causes climate change as well as air pollution. So don't forget to attach this idea of the large city, okay? That this is specifically what we're talking about here, okay? Not only large cities, but particularly large cities. Okay, and then increased road transportation. You could have added something here as well. So, the increased road transportation, which includes buses, motorcycles, cars, and trains, that exist again in large metropolises. So you could have said something like that. I just wanted you to not lose sight of the fact that we're talking about large cities. Okay, like I said, so far you've only really mentioned it here. Let's see now. I didn't really understand how this fits in, okay? Which is why I keep telling you to talk about this whole thing with like the large cities. Industrial waste. So explain to me how this is a problem of pollution in large cities, because a lot of times the industrial areas of a country or of a region, they're usually placed outside the large city. So if you were trying to refer to that, you could have said that, some of the problems leading to pollution don't just occur in large cities, but around them. For example, one of the causes of water pollution is industrial waste, which is dumped into the ocean. This contaminates the water and threatens aquatic life. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. If it does, then great. If it doesn't, just, you can tell me in your email, Ellen, I really didn't understand what you were saying about this idea of large cities and how to kind of, because I don't know. This for me felt a little, I wasn't so sure about it. Okay, and then take a look here what you did. Industrial waste. Okay, yes, that's fine. That's fine. Yes, okay. Never mind. So therefore, it is conclusively clear that burning fossil fuels and industrial waste are the major causes of pollution. Okay. So, you talked about fossil fuels here for electricity. You talked about fossil fuels again with road transportation, and then you talked about this. So essentially, you had two main ideas just here, really. I mean, you talked about energy, you talked about road transportation. So you could have theoretically left this out, but you put it in. That's okay. But again, I just wanted you to kind of pinpoint how this is relevant to large cities, because in my mind, the industrial areas are usually outside of the major urban hub. They're usually like a little farther removed. Okay, we already talked about that, so let's not get into it any further. Let's move on to your next paragraph. The issue of pollution can be solved in two ways. Now that's a nice, clear topic sentence. The first one is to reduce the burning of fossil fuels and to use renewable energy as well as electric cars. This is due to the fact that renewable energy is derived from natural sources such as the sun and wind, and it does not produce any toxic gases. One S in gas. Reduction of waste disposal is crucial for tackling water pollution. You don't mean this, reduction of waste disposal. I think you're just trying to say something different, not reduction of waste disposal, because that means we would dispose of our waste less. And I don't think that's what you mean. Let's see, maybe better waste disposal, more thoughtful waste disposal, or waste disposal that does not affect I'm not really sure, but some other different way of expressing this. Anyway, let's how about just the reduction of waste? And maybe just get rid of the word disposal, because maybe that's what's tripping us up here a little bit. Why don't we try that, okay? Reduction of waste is crucial for tackling water pollution. This can be done by using reusable grocery bags and reusable bottles or cups with a P for beverages on the go. For example, an extensive study by Oxford University showed that in 2019, over 50% of air and water pollution was reduced due to the increased use of renewable energy and the reduction of waste disposal. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that the reduction of burning fossil fuels and industrial waste are the best options for tackling this issue. Well, this isn't really industrial waste, so you need to be careful with that expression here, okay? You could have just said waste, and that would have been much better. The rest of it was good. I do feel like you use the word reduction quite a bit. So here you've got it, then you've got it here again, then you've got it here again, then you've got the word reduced. So maybe you could have come up with a synonym for that or another way of expressing this idea. But other than that, I thought it was actually nicely done. So to conclude from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that the problems with pollution can be solved if we reduce the burning of fossil fuels as well as waste disposal. Okay, fine. I think I would have liked a conclusion that focused not just on the solutions, but also on the problems as well. So, just a summary. So, these are our problems, but with reusable bags and renewable energy, these can be reduced. I mean, something like that. Because I felt like you were just looking at the solutions here. I thought this was good. I like this actually quite a bit. I am a little concerned that you still didn't mention anything about large cities here. So you really spoke about pollution and how it affects the world in general. There was nothing here that made it specific to large cities. So I would have liked you to have done that. But other than that, I thought this was it was very good. Now, have we talked about reducing front position linkers together? We must have, because I noticed that this particular essay doesn't have any of those. It doesn't have any front position markers at all, except for example, and therefore. And that's good. Okay, that's good. But just because you don't use a front position marker, it doesn't did I say marker? Linker. Just because you don't use a front position linker, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't use any linker. Okay, so here, for example, reduction of waste is also crucial for pollution, for tackling pollution, particularly water pollution. Okay, so even a word like also, you're not putting it in the beginning of the sentence, you're putting it in the middle, but it does help link some of your ideas. There was someplace else in the first paragraph. It was, you know what? It was in the same place. So there are linkers that you don't need to put in the beginning. All right, let's see if we can come up with something here. How about you do this? The pollution of water is another issue in large cities. The cause of which is industrial waste, which is dumped into the ocean. And this contaminates the water and threatens aquatic life. Okay, so again, there's no front linker there, but it is successfully, you know, kind of marked that it's a new idea here. All right, I think we've talked about this quite a bit, so why don't we move on? It's a good essay, so I want you to feel good about it. Let's move on to your task 1. You want a summer job. Great. All right, where is the opening? There it is. Dear Sir, Madam, I'm contacting you with regard, no S with after the regard. So I'm contacting you with regard to summer jobs. My name is Asma and I am a junior doctor. I have just finished my 2-year medical training program and I'm looking to work as a locum doctor during the summer holiday. I would like to work in the emergency medicine field. I really enjoy this role because it allows me to see a wide range of patients with different conditions, and this helps me increase my knowledge in medicine. Furthermore, I'm looking to specialize in this field in the near future. Hence, working in the emergency medicine field will help me gain the experience, singular experience here. Okay? Needed. I used, with a D, I used to work as a junior doctor, and I used, again, well, you don't want to say I used to. So instead, let's just use a little cohesion here. I used to work as a junior doctor and rotate in different specialties. Okay? I have worked in the emergency department for 6 months, and during this time, I have seen and treated multiple different conditions. I have experience in working in a fast-paced environment whilst staying calm and making the right decisions regarding patient care. I believe I have the right skills and experience that is required for this role. Yours faithfully. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at introduce yourself. My name is Asma and I'm a junior doctor. Fine, what kind of a job you'd like? You mentioned that. That was pretty clear. Explain your previous experience. Yes, so this is a yes from me. I thought you did very nice. That's not an expression. We don't say that. I thought you did very well. I thought you did a good job with this. Let me just read it one more time through to see if there's anything that I want to mention. Okay, I am going to mention something, but I want you to understand that what I'm going to mention is like a detail of details. This is actually a very well written letter. I want you to feel very proud of it. I thought you did very nicely. But because it's done really well, like I said, we're just going to look at details. All right, so just here's my suggestion to you. I noticed that almost all of your sentences began with I. Take a look at this. I. Now this one doesn't. Okay. I, 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 I. So look, all of them. Now, obviously, you're applying for a job, and so you're going to talk about yourself. That's clear. But you can also do this while changing around your sentences, changing around your word order, using some different grammatical phenomenon. All right, so that's something I would have liked to see. Just because, of course, this is an English language test. And so while in a cover letter we might actually write it like this, for the purposes of this exam, you do want to show your range of grammar. Okay, so that's the one thing. You just wanted to show a little more of that range. But in general, I want you to know that I thought you did really, really well. The accuracy is great, so you're doing really well. Yeah, so again, I want you to feel very proud of this set. You did a very nice job. Let's take a look at the next one then, okay? I'll be waiting for it. Good luck.